All right, my friends, what's going on? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Let me switch my. Hopefully that's coming in a little bit more clearly for you guys. Listen, we've got a great guest. We're going to get right into it this morning. I want to twist this guy's arm and get all the information we can from him. What's up, Aaron? What's going on, my man?
Hey, man. Thanks so much for having me on. Good to see you again.
Hey. Oh, brother, it's my pleasure. Now you're coming in and calling from Australia, is that right?
Yep, down in Melbourne. Yep.
Oh, my man, dude. That's one of the places. That's one of the places I've not visited in my life, but it's absolutely on my travel list, man.
Yeah, I'm born and raised here. Never gone far, so yeah, I love it.
So you haven't been to the States ever?
Never been to the States, no. Never been to Europe yet. Done a little bit of traveling in Asia so far, but
yeah, awesome, man, awesome. We've had a couple of Aussies in our community. Of course, Jacob, who's somebody that you know, and then several other Aussies who have come through. That's we can call you Aussies, right? That's not an offensive term, is it?
Nah, not offensive at all. Go for it.
What do you call us? What do you call us? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what you call us. Just Americans, right?
Americans, yeah.
Oh man. So look, I want to give a big disclaimer here because I actually used a bit of an income claim here on this title of this live with Aaron. Okay. I'm clear and understand that it says 10K in 3 hours a day. I want to give a big ridiculous disclaimer right out in the beginning of this one. Any marketing or financial advice that you take from myself in particular could result in you being broke and miserable for the rest of your life. So take that with a grain of salt. Also, any information that you hear today could absolutely result in no results for you, okay? Just because Aaron's made $10,000 with his work does not mean that you're going to make $10,000 with your work. You could make less, you could make more, but the average person who buys any information product, starts any business online, makes no money. And I don't say this next part to be slick, but it's because most people buy stuff and they don't do anything with it. Okay. So my hope is today that all the information that we share with you guys today, you're actually going to apply it. That's why we do these shows every single day. So with that being said, we've had you on the show before, Aaron, and you're fairly new to the online game. Give us, at least that's what I remember. I feel like it's been like 6 months, but give us a nutshell sort of history and a nutshell version of your story, what got you started in online marketing in the first place, and kind of how you got to where you're at today.
For sure, man. I come from a construction background as well. So I used to do drywall. I was a fixer. That was my full-time job. So I did that for the better part of 10 years. It's hard. As you know, construction's not easy. So it took a toll on my body and I started sort of burning out. It was really unfulfilling. My calling, I know it sounds really hypey and cheesy, but my calling was somewhere else. Like I was destined for something else. I don't know what that was, but I was looking for something else to do. Stumbled across online business and then affiliate marketing and got stuck straight into it. The interest was sparked, but what happened is January 31st this year, I actually was diagnosed with arthritis in my spine and nerve impingements in my neck due to my job. So they told me I was running a small drywall business at the time. They told me I had to shut it down. I had to basically stop within 30 days and go find something else to do. So that shook me up pretty big. That was my real push to find something else. And obviously I had this interest of affiliate marketing. So I thought, look, if there's ever going to be a time that I'm going to give this a really good shot, now is the time. And I just sort of, look, it was a big leap because I had a mortgage, I have a partner, I have bills to pay. So I had to make sure that this worked out. So it was a hard decision to make, but I guess for me, wondering my whole life if this could have worked out was so much worse than not taking that risk. So I just felt like I had to do it. I just jumped straight into it. And my journey's been, I guess, you could say I've had pretty fast success, but it's definitely been up and down. It hasn't been all great or all good days. There were hard times, hard months. But after 6 months, I've been able to generate a full-time living now online. My girlfriend's quit her full-time job. And we're both working from home now, which has been completely life-changing. So
yeah, no, that's incredible. That's awesome. And we've got that construction background in common. I also just noticed that you're wearing an LA hat, which is kind of cool. Are you a baseball fan?
Well, everyone's going to hate me for this, man. But here in Australia, the hats are just like fashion. It's just a brand. So we just buy the hat. So no, disclaimer, no.
I got you. Hey, it's all good, man. I don't hate how. Oh, my wife's got a LA shirt on. That's cool. She's not a big baseball fan, so it's all good. We ain't gonna hate on you, brother, because you're fashion, man. Oh, good. It's all good. So you what did you do when you first started marketing online? Like, did you find us first, or did you try other things, or what kind of, and then what also strategies? Because we're going to talk about like TikTok here in a second, but what strategies were you doing? What kind of things did you fumble around at all in the beginning?
I played around with a few different things initially. I think the first one was blogging. So I decided I wanted to do blogging. I'm fairly introverted by nature, and I thought, I'll just do that. Seems pretty easy. I spent a long time on my blog, and I had no SEO knowledge, so I thought I'll pay someone to do it. So I lashed out a little bit of money, and still to this day, I get very, very few visits to that blog. It was my first attempt. I think it was a bit of a fail. So look, I decided that wasn't for me. I needed something a little bit more active. So I stumbled across. I played around with a couple of solo ads in a share funnel. Initially, I had no marketing knowledge. I'd never played with anything like that before, and it just didn't work out for me. I didn't have any of the basic skills. I didn't have anyone to help me sort through that sort of thing. So they're the two methods I think I played around with in the beginning, until I decided that this wasn't working for me. I needed help. Look, that's where I found you guys, and I found also another company. So I guess I went through both of the trainings, and I coupled what I'd learned through both of them and started implementing. So that looked like TikTok for me. And the other strategy that I follow that is a big part of my business is Facebook organic. So I utilize that traffic source, for a lot of my business.
So I think if you're not, I just want to say this to those of you who are considering blogging, or if you're not totally committed to doing that for 6 to 12 months, then it's slow. It takes a while to build up momentum. But Facebook organic marketing and TikTok is like super active. It's like cocaine for online marketers, whereas blogging is like weed. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a slow, whereas boom, you get on TikTok, man, you could have leads that day, or you do Facebook organic marketing, you could have connections and conversations in sales right away. So I want to talk about your TikTok, but I also want to learn, because I think you're really good at Facebook organic marketing. I want to understand your strategy and sort of a step-by-step formula for people who want something quick and easy that they can do right away. First and foremost, take us through how you approached your Facebook organic strategy. Did you have a profile already? Did you start a brand new profile? And then how did you begin to build that profile with targeted prospects?
Yep. So I was not a social media person at all. I actually didn't use Facebook. I had a profile from when I was in high school, but it was very inactive. There was not much going on there at all. So I decided I was going to use my existing profile, and I was pretty brutal. I deleted my friends and family. I told them I'll be on Instagram if you want me, but this is going to be for marketing. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but I decided to. That was my initial method. I just went through and deleted everyone. But look, Facebook organic for me. Obviously,
can I stop you right there? Like, that's a big thing that you just said. Like, were you active on Facebook before that with friends and family, or not really?
Not really. I did have friends and family on there, but I wouldn't say I was actively participating. Like, I rarely logged in.
Okay, so it wasn't
Yeah.
like you were super active. So if somebody is active on Facebook and they have friends, family, usually we have a couple of hundred connections, that are actually people we know in real life. What would you recommend that they do? Would you recommend that they just kind of delete Facebook totally? Would you for friends and family and stop wasting time with it? Or would you recommend they just start a new profile and just make that a business only profile?
Yeah, there's a couple of different options. So I guess for me, I think for most people, they're not going to want to delete their friends and family. There's connections they may lose. And I think a good way to avoid that is either by segmenting your friends list. So there is a way you can segment your friends list so your friends and family won't have to see your marketing stuff and vice versa. Or starting a new profile can be a good way too. Yeah.
You can segment your friends list.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. I didn't know you could do that. I'm sure we could just Google how to segment your friends list on Facebook and find that answer.
Been playing around with it recently.
They did what?
I've been playing around with it recently because I had to redo it more recently, and it's actually quite simple.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, why don't I just log in? I think this is such a big deal for people, man. It's such a big deal because people get so caught up in wanting to mix that business and sort of that personal, that personal stuff that they've got going on in their life. So, okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I just want you to show me how to do this because I may even be interested in doing some of this. So, what would I do to be able to segment my friends list?
So to segment your friends list, on the far left, there's a menu. So you want to click see more just under your, so if you go, there, and it should come up with friends lists.
Oh,
yep.
Really?
So now you can create a list.
Wow.
And select who goes in that list.
Would I have to, like I would say okay, I see it. So I can't scroll through and pick. I can't see everybody. Oh, see all friends.
Yeah, so it is a little bit clunky at the moment.
But I could play around with it. And when I go to make a post, I could say don't show this post to certain people.
Yeah, so you can select like the segment of your friends list that you want to see certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yep. I see. Okay. Custom, exclude people, right? These people or list. So I could exclude an entire list.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right.
That's probably the easiest way for most people to be able to simply start marketing without their friends and family having to be hounded by it all.
Right, because it's like, gosh, I think that's just a big. I don't know, guys. Can you relate to that? You drop us a comment. Let us know. Can you relate to that? Is that something that you struggle with? Hopefully, segmenting your list of friends, which would probably take a good day or two to do, but it may be worth it because I think the strategies that Aaron's going to talk about are super effective, and you may want to implement. So now that you've got your profile, you made the hard decision. You said, okay, I'm going to make this all about business. Now you're starting with a blank slate. What did you do? How did you begin to fill your friends list with targeted prospects? I assume you've always sort of working in the make money online niche. So you needed to find other people who were interested in making money online. Maybe they were struggling. Maybe they were looking for a mentor, felt unsupported, etc. So how did you go about finding those people, and did you add them as friends, or did you just find a specific way to market to them without adding them as friends? What's the sort of process or theory behind the strategy?
So the first thing you got to do is you got to build an audience, obviously, as you said. So that involves there's a couple of different places you can find friends to add, but as you said yourself, most of the time building an audience is about adding Facebook friends. So initially, the three places I was taught to look are Facebook groups, Facebook pages, and Facebook ads. Is quite a good one. You can actually check out the people who are engaging with other marketers' ads, and
wow,
Yeah, and that's basically where I looked. So you're right. I am involved in the make money online niche. Always have been. And so it's just a matter of finding. It's important to know who it is that you're looking for. Like who's your target customer. I think it's important to have at least a basic idea of who it is that you're looking for, and then find them in these Facebook groups or Facebook pages. Look, from many months of experimenting, the best place to add friends for me has been Facebook groups that are specific to exactly what it is that I do. So organic marketing or high ticket affiliate marketing or something like that has been where I've had most of my success.
Yeah. So do you find when you're specifically looking for people, because Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, will only allow you to add 5,000 friends, but an unlimited amount of people can follow you. So, right? Is that still how it works?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. And you have to be somewhat careful with your Facebook profile that you're not specifically pitching stuff right from your personal profile, because Facebook would prefer you to use a page to do quote unquote hardcore business. So how do you go about like if I've only got 5,000 people that I can add, what should I want to make sure that I get the absolute best people. And I'm also thinking, Aaron, well, gosh, what if I have 5,000 people and then all those people have seen my stuff at a certain point? How would I refresh that list?
So refreshing the list is important. Obviously, it's, as you said, you're very limited to 5,000 friends. To be honest, when we're promoting high ticket products is quite a lot of potential prospects. But at the end of the day, we do need a constant flow of new leads and to refresh that audience. So there's a couple of different things. And one is that adding friends never stops when you're in organic marketing, because you need a continuous flow. So it's important to keep that updated. And I guess the second way is it's important to go through your old friends. So a lot of organic marketers will run some automation software, or you can do it manually, where you actually find out who hasn't engaged in any of your content. And you can set on the software a time frame. And then most people will just remove those who are inactive and not engaging, because it means that they're not interested, obviously not going to be a lead, not interested in what you're doing. So that's the way that we keep the friends list refreshed, because as you said, it is important to continue that. But I think the process, as you said, like it's very easy. Like you see it everywhere. Marketers really pitchy, making offer posts constantly, things like that. And I think for me, that's not the method I've been used. We tried to leverage something called attraction marketing. So I'm not pitching people at all. I'm relationship building. I'm audience building. I'm getting to know people, and only pitching, quote unquote pitching, if it's a good fit. Like if someone is looking for a solution, if it is a good fit, then sure, you need to put your offer in front of them. But not before you've built up a relationship, some trust, things like that. That's like organic marketing doesn't work if you're just pitching on the first message or making offer posts constantly on your wall. It's all about building a personal brand, in my opinion, building up some trust and authority, goodwill with your audience, so that you can be at that point where you can make recommendations that will actually be listened to.
We'll talk about how you sort of create authority here in a second, and how you specifically where you make posts and how you sort of attract people to you. But I want to take a couple of steps back. Is there any specific software that you use or recommend to be able to filter through people who are inactive?
There's one that I use. It's actually a Chrome suite, so it's 6 different extensions. But yeah, there is. It's called Facebook Social Accelerator.
Facebook what?
Social Accelerator.
My man, Facebook.
It's FB Social Accelerator. Yeah.
Oh, okay. FB. So yeah, because they don't want to infringe on that big name, boy. Because if they do, you could be in trouble. All right. So is this a free thing?
It's not. They do a $1 trial for 7 days.
Okay. Oh, I see. Is this I wonder if this has got an affiliate program.
It does.
Oh man. You got your affiliate link handy?
Yeah, probably do on my Bitly. Yeah.
Hey man, we'll share it with everybody, and you can maybe get some affiliate sales from this live. We appreciate the tips.
No worries.
Yeah, just check it out and see if you have it, and we'll drop it in there to everybody. Okay, so now let's talk about you could just drop it in the chat just straight off, man, and
Easy.
you guys, Aaron will drop a link into that Facebook social accelerator, and I think I'll pick that up through your link today as well. Man, Randy says this has to be one of the most powerful wake-up calls. All right, Aaron, you're on a roll, man. I think you're gonna get some new fans today, man. Some new followers, some new, some good quality engaged people on your list, man. You got your last name's so hard to spell, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of the hardest names ever to spell. How do you even pronounce it? I didn't even try.
It's Shokovich. I know, it's from a personal branding perspective, it can be a bit of a pain, that one.
All right. So one of the best plays. So I love so we're going into groups. When we go into a group, so say we join a group, and guys, just go to Facebook. Okay. Type in affiliate marketing, type in high ticket marketing, type in Facebook organic marketing. Is all you have to do is go right to your little search bar, and you can, I mean, if we wanted to just find people, right? Look at this. It's already popping up, Facebook organic marketing. We'll go right here to groups, and here's one with 15,000. That's Spencer's. We can go in and start poaching his group. 7-figure coaching secrets. Okay. We've got affiliate profits mastermind. Traffic and funnels, 29,000. ClickFunnels Avengers. ClickFunnels has got 255,000. The super affiliate collective. Okay. So how do I go into these groups, Aaron? And excuse my language, cover your kids' ears for this one. How do I go in, Aaron? Aaron, I don't know if this is a term in Australia, and not look like a douchebag. How do I not look like a spam machine? Talk us through, how do I feel like going into a group is sort of like walking into a party. How do I not make an ass out of myself in the first, couple of hours and sort of scare all of the ladies or the guys away?
Look, there's a couple of different ways to not scare everyone off. I think the first one is it's important to optimize your Facebook profile. And I know this doesn't relate to the group, but it's important that when you're sending out these friend requests, people can click on your name and see that you're legitimate. You're an online marketer, you present well, you look professional, you're not spammy or anything like that. I think that's a really important part to make sure you got covered straight up. But look, it's all a matter of, so we're not coming into these groups again to pitch. Like, we're not sort of jumping into here and just trying to sell everyone. We're here to build relationships and offer value. So a really good way is, and I'm sure you would have seen them in many different groups before, is a value post. So just offer value to the audience. Some groups don't like that as much, at which point you still have options. Like, you can still hop into the group. There's always going to be people asking questions, struggling with things, and you can just offer value, give genuine help with no goal other than to help somebody out. So I think it's important to have that goal, not be to make a sale to everyone you chat to, but just to offer value to the community and help out. And I think that's probably a good transition into like how to build authority and goodwill, I think.
Yeah. So let's talk about that here. I want to just clarify something that he said, that some subgroup owners don't like people coming in and doing value posts. I want you to think about this. Let's put it in regular context. So say Harry over here's throwing a big party, okay? And it's his birthday, okay? And here you come walking into the party with a tuxedo, with ladies on both arms, popping champagne bottles, right? Smoking cigars, making a big noise. And how do you think that's going to make Harry feel, right? That's not going to make him feel very loved and respected, right? So we have to, there's actually a law which I'm not big on, trying to win wars and stuff, but I think it's the art of war that's never outshine the master. And that's a good rule for this strategy, that if you're in a group, respect the owner of the group. And if they are a guru, if they are a brand. Now, if it's a generic group that has no leader, this may not be relevant. But if there is a leader or somebody who has built the group as the spokesperson for the group, don't outshine the master, right? Just don't outshine the master. Respect the person. It's sort of like walking into somebody's house. If I walked into your house, Aaron, I wouldn't just snatch up your wife and start, or your partner and just start, kissing and hugging and, hey, we'll be in the bedroom if you need it. It's ridiculous. So we have to think about the internet the same way, because even though it's virtual, it's similar. These are virtual rooms. These are virtual houses, virtual buildings that people have built. And when we walk in, we just need to remember that we're in somebody's house and sort of act accordingly. It doesn't mean that we have to be quiet. We can still make friends, make connections, and build our network and eventually make sales. But we have to go about it in a way that's reasonable and respectful of the person that's built the group. Aaron, is there anything you'd add, or what comes up as I say that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's important. Before I probably may have come across like I sort of said, join a group and chuck posts in there. I hope no one's misunderstood that. It's important to get the vibe first. Get the vibe, see what's going on in the group. Like, you're not going to hop in a group of 500 and start dropping value posts every day. Like it's got to be appropriate. At the same time, if you're not sure, connect with the group owner, because the worst that they can say is no. So I think that's a really valuable lesson. And that's what I've done multiple times now, is connect with the group owner just to make sure it's okay with them. If it's not, that's totally cool.
And if it's not, like, remember, there's multiple. I want to point out, and I want to shine a light on. It's not just about making value posts. And what Aaron, define a value post just so everybody understands what we're talking about.
Well, a value post is, I guess, any post that's just pure value. So it's practical tips, mindset tips, can be stories, things like that. But it's just offering value, not asking for anything in return.
Yeah. So it's really just, I want to share a tip, or I want to share a lesson, or here's what happened to me yesterday. You can tell a story, but it's all about, if somebody spends, whether it be 5 seconds or 5 minutes reading this, are they going to walk away a better person? Are they going to be better for it? Are they going to know something they didn't know, be entertained, etc.? So now if we're not going to go into a group and make value posts, which again, it's about feeling the vibe of the room, and is this a place that it would be appropriate for me? There's if I want to share, I could share, maybe I can. Another way to make a value post and not offend the group owner is to make a value post that shouts out and thanks the group owner as well. So you can totally do that, as long as you stroke the group owner's ego a little bit and say, I just want to thank such and such for everything I've learned from them. That's a way to get away with it. This boggles my mind, because people have done this in legendary groups, made some totally generic, almost like similar post, but it was almost like the one post it was almost like they copy and pasted and just put it in 50 different groups. Whereas the other person, similar kind of value, generic post, but at the end we're like, and I want to thank Legendary. It's been a game changer. And it's like, fuck, I'll prove that. You know what I mean? Because when you're coming into my house, you're like, you're not just eating and running. You're eating and saying, hey, thanks for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, that was a great meal. Like, it's just, again, man, this is why self-awareness and emotional intelligence is so important in this game. People have, how to get along in life, but then the internet's like, you think it's like an alternative universe, but it's not. It's the same thing. It's just digital. So, okay. So now let's transition into the part that you said would make sense to talk about next, which was, building authority.
I think, a big part of that is consistency. Is building up like authority in the the space that you play in is being able to demonstrate that you show up daily is a big part of that. But for me, it was very much about being consistent, but showing up and giving as much value to my audience as I could without asking for anything in return, without pitching everybody that I talk to. And I guess the third component to that for me was about leveraging results. So if you don't make a little bit of noise when you get a result, nobody knows that you've got any results and that they should be listening to what it is that you're saying. So I think that was a big part of me building up any sort of authority in the space when I started out, was being able to show people that I was getting some results.
Yeah, that's very well put. That's very well put. And there's a way that you can leverage results, guys, without being a, kind of an egomaniac. I keep going back to this sort of douchey kind of like vibe. You know what I mean? Like you can, like what I did at the beginning of this webinar, like I knew we were going to talk like at least the title. I gave a disclaimer. It just makes it real. It brings it down to earth. Like not all people are going to get results with this or you can make a humble brag by, hey, I want to share a result, even though it feels a little awkward to do it because I don't want to come off like I'm trying to act like I'm the most successful marketer in the world, but I just had $1,000 day. That simple little, sort of, frame that you put that post in is so important. And the better you get with wordsmithing and framing how you share your results, the more you're going to attract people who are going to actually respect you, right? We're talking about building authority versus just look at you as a piece of money meat. And what I mean by that is just only if they can't learn to make money from you, they can't make money with you, then F you. Whereas we want to be human to people. We want to have a human element. And that's why I call it money meat. I don't want anybody to just be looking at me like a piece of money meat. Like if I can't help them make money, then they just assume see me dead. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a guy who actually shares some of my heart and soul, respects people, keeps in mind that even though I'm getting results, they may not be getting results, and that I want to come off with an empathetic and compassionate tone. I can challenge people. I can speak strongly when at certain times, but I don't want to come off as sort of like an arrogant asshole, if you will. Anything that you would add to that?
You pretty much nailed it. Yeah. I think going back to something you said before is it's just important to remember that the same rules apply in real life as they do on the internet. And just be a real human, like be genuine with people. You wouldn't, jump in someone's front door and start pitching them when you've never met them. So don't do it on Messenger. I think just, make sure the same rules apply.
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about sort of the next steps, consistency, but how do I ultimately get somebody to how do I make money from all this? This all sounds great, but how do I actually, what is the goal? Is the goal to get them into a one-on-one conversation? Is a goal to get them to type more info on one of my posts? Now that I've got the right bait and I've found out where to actually fish, how do I actually bring people in the boat?
A couple of different methods. I think content is a big part of it. So it's important to be consistent with some sort of a content formula. There's plenty out there. Most of them probably work. But you need to be following some sort of a content formula for starters. And that's what will generate inbound leads quite often, which is really powerful, as you know. But in order to monetize this whole thing, you have to have an offer. So it's as simple as that. You need to have an offer, and high ticket. I don't need to speak about high ticket on this show. It's the way to go. High ticket is definitely the way to go, especially when you're doing Facebook organic. You have a higher chance of it, leading into a high ticket sale, and then it's worth your time. So look, to put it simply, you need an offer. You need an offer behind it. How do we get to making sales? We build relationships. We get to know people. We post consistent content. And then if somebody has an issue, we've got to know them. They'll open up about it. They're struggling. Maybe they're struggling in their affiliate business, or they don't have enough time and they need some automation software or something like that. That's a problem we can help solve. So because we've built up this relationship, we've been consistent with our content, so we've got some sort of authority and goodwill, then we can make a recommendation and say, look, based off what you've told me, it sounds like this would be a good fit for you and it would solve, X problem. That's like, to break it down really simply, that's how we monetize this.
So I'm looking at your I want to talk about your page itself, because I think this is a big missing piece that I want to make sure that we talk about, because once I have somebody on my friends list, which you're at 4,741 friends, you've got 1,600 people that are following you here. Now all of a sudden they're seeing you in their news feed, which is ultimately where a lot of the relationship gets built. It's also even where you see people's posts inside of groups. I mean, the news feed is ideally where everything goes down. I mean, most of the time people are not logging into Facebook and going into groups. They're seeing posts from groups, freaking political stuff. I'm telling you, man, I just unfollow people, man, just like that. If they're doing political, propaganda, I just unfollow them. I literally have unfollowed probably 2,000 people this year, man. Sorry if I unfollowed you. If that's what you're doing, if you use social media for political reasons, I don't have time for you. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. Aaron, would you agree? Would you agree that once you have somebody on your friends list that you are connected to them, this is where they are seeing the majority of posts? Or do you think people are logging in and going to their groups and then going into groups that way?
I think a majority of the relationship building with your audience will be through your profile, through the newsfeed, through your content showing up. I think that's going to be a big part of it. Yeah.
So now that I have people on my friends list, I need to really focus now on how do I make value-driven posts that generate lots of engagement, right? Comments, likes, lots of comments here, that sort of tell a story. I mean, on your profile page, you can post anything you want, right? So now that I've started to generate friends and followers, Aaron, what do I need to be posting on my Facebook profile in order to build the bridge to them wanting to comment and even potentially reaching out to me via Messenger, or making it so if I reach out to them via Messenger, they're like, oh, wow, this is a big deal to be talking to you.
Yeah, it's really important to lead with value, and the main focus of your Facebook post should be value. It really needs to be like that. That's got to be a big part of it. But there's a couple of other types of posts you can do to sort of build goodwill and authority with your audience, and one of those we've already spoken about is like a results type post. But another one is something really similar. Something really simple is just a lifestyle post. So you saw further up my feed a picture of my family, me having dinner. That's a good example of a lifestyle post. So that's just me sharing a window into who I am as a person, and humanizing myself. Like, I'm just an average guy. I'm just an average guy from Melbourne. Went out for dinner with my family. Like, I think it's really important to be able to get people to see that you are, you're not some what did you call it? Money meat. Like, I'm a real human.
Money meat. Yeah. I just came up with that today, by the way. So yeah, that's not the old money meat.
I quite like that one. But yeah, look, it's important to be sharing value stories, like practical tips, mindset breakthroughs you've had. Give people a window into your life, who you are as a person. What are your hobbies? What do you do with yourself? What does your past look like? Share results when you have them. Share team results. And look, that's makes up the basic backbone of my content strategy. But on top of that, I guess to get people to reach out, you need to have a call to action. So a lot of people when they're starting out, and I'd probably recommend keeping it pretty softer when you're starting out. So, if you'd like more information on this, drop me a message saying info or something simple like that. Like, it doesn't need to be complicated.
Yeah. So I wanted to break down just 2 posts here that I think are really, really kind of will make it make sense to a lot of people. And I want to read your writing if that's okay.
Yep.
So on November 1st, you posted January 31st. And this, from just skimming it, is more of like an inspiration look into your life and heart. It's a trust and bond building post. All right. The day my life changed forever, I was sitting in the waiting room at the doctor's, anxiously awaiting my name to be called. I could feel my heart beating fast and my breathing speed up. I tried to look calm, but it was obvious I was nervous. I had recently had a series of scans done on my neck, and I was waiting to hear the results. I tried to reassure myself by brushing it off as nothing serious. Finally, my name was called. This is great storytelling. I stood up and I walked into the office while my heart was nearly beating out of my chest. The doctor sat down, didn't beat around the bush. You have the spine of a 70-year-old. You'll be lucky to make it to 50 without spinal surgery, and you need to stop working immediately. It hit me like a ton of bricks. My entire lifestyle had been ripped out from under me. My vision of my future had been flipped on its head. I nearly cried on the spot. I was so scared I could barely hold on to it. What does this mean for my future? How was I going to keep the roof over my partner's head? How long till I was bedridden? I was only 29 years old. Was I even going to get to enjoy the rest of my life? I walked out of there feeling like I had just been given a life sentence. As I sat down in my car, something clicked in my head. There was absolutely nothing I could do to change the situation, but I had one important choice to make. I could be a victim. I could be a victim and spend the next 40 years feeling sorry for myself, or I could focus on what I control and make this injury my bitch. Luckily, I chose the latter. I decided then and there that I wasn't going to be a victim and let this run my life. I was going to do everything I could to fight it and not let the diagnosis dictate my future. I learned an incredibly valuable lesson that day. When life throws you a curveball, you still have a choice how you decide to react to it. You can feel sorry for yourself and resign to the circumstances, or you can get the fuck up, focus on what you can control, and refuse to be a victim. Your business is exactly the same. You're going to have shitty days or situations happen to you along the way, but how you choose to react to them is going to dictate the outcome as you get long term. Stop focusing on what you can't control, playing the victim. Put all your energy into what you can control and do everything in your power to attract positive outcomes. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. It's all about perspective, Aaron. So that's awesome, man. So that is your spine put you out of work construction story. And who would have thunk, Aaron, that having an injury that some men might be afraid to talk about. Some men might think, oh, that makes me weak. I don't want to share any of that with anybody. There's something wrong with me. You have taken that struggle, turned it into a strength, and used it as a way to share your story in an inspirational way. And when somebody reads that, they're better for it. How have you, how did you change your mind to realizing that your mess could actually be a message? Did that come natural to you, or did you need to reframe your life and your past situations to be able to realize, oh, I can use these as strengths inside of my business?
Look, I haven't always had that perspective, that's for sure. It's something I've grown into it and realized that I could use this sort of stuff. But I've understood from very early on, just from being like in the space and seeing other marketers, that stories are incredibly powerful, like really, really powerful. So I think as like when I started marketing, I committed to share my journey and to be open and honest about everything and not hold anything back. And I think that's probably the perspective I came in with.
Yeah. So now I want to look at one a little bit shorter, but actually gives that soft call to action. Okay. So this was the day before that post. 2 reasons why high ticket is too hard to sell. This is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but the truth is there's only two reasons why high ticket would be hard to sell. You don't believe you can sell high ticket. You don't have the skills to sell high ticket. High ticket is not too difficult to sell. You either don't believe in yourself or you just haven't developed the skills required. There's a trend of people who want to start with low ticket and then move to high ticket. Problem is they might make a few sales per month that equal to 300 or less and decide online business isn't worth the time investment. If you're selling low ticket items one-on-one using Facebook organic, you are going to have a tough time reaching your income goals. I'm not saying it's impossible. It isn't possible, but it's very difficult. Instead of investing in a bunch of done-for-you low-ticket programs that promise you riches, or spending 6 months trying to meet your income goals selling low-ticket products and giving up because it's too hard, consider investing that money into learning the skills required to sell things online. Choose a high-quality, high-ticket offer and start smashing your income goals. If you're struggling to understand high-ticket or how to sell things online, shoot me a DM and we can get some clarity around your sales process, right? So not only is this call to action it's a call to action, but it's not even a call to action to buy something. It's a call to action for you to then deliver more value. Specifically, we can get you some clarity around your sales process. So initially, when you started doing this, were you pitching right in the post? And did you realize, oh, wow, that doesn't work, even if it's on my own profile? And I need to, even in my call to action for somebody to reach out to me, I need to offer them even more value.
I got lucky because I did have some decent training initially. So I didn't pitch in my post, and I did understand that was a no-go. But I did, before I got serious about marketing, when I was playing around with the blogging and that, I did jump on Facebook for a little bit and start spamming out my link to every single friend who I added. So I have done that before, definitely. It did not work.
Yeah. So you've got 124 comments here, but I see you responding to quite a few of them. How important is it for you to come in here and engage with people who are commenting on your posts?
I think it's very important. For starters, they've taken the time to comment on it, especially if it's not just 3 emojis. It's a response related to your post. They've taken the time to read it, to leave a comment. I think it's important to build, again, relationships, trust, goodwill with your audience. If they're commenting on your content and you never take the time to reply, they're not going to do that for long. So I think it's very important to be engaging with your friends, especially on your posts and your comments.
Do you have any sort of scripts or anything? I have a couple of things that I was going to give away here in terms of some campaigns that I've ran. I was wondering if you had, now once somebody DMs you, do you sort of just have a conversation with them, or do you have a somewhat kind of typical way in which your conversations go in the direct message space?
I have a framework. So I don't, like, scripts can be really tough to stick to because no conversation's the same. There's different kinds of people at different levels of awareness. So I have a framework that I use, but every conversation is fairly similar in the early stages in that I'm entering every conversation with the goal of having a chat. And that's my only goal. Just have a chat and get to know the person and see where it leads. So I do have a framework that I do follow, for my sales processes. But it all starts with building that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, do you want to give any hints or tips about that framework?
Yeah, of course. I can give the basics, like the framework. And number one is to build rapport and like from a sales perspective, find something in common, like find some common ground with the person. But beyond that, it's very, very similar to most sales processes in that you need to be super clear on where the person is at. So once you've built that rapport, you've got the common ground, you need to know where they're at, what they're struggling with, and ultimately whether you can even help. And if you think you can, then you need to find out where they want to go, pre-frame, and envision the future for where it is that they want to go. And then essentially we're bridging the gap with our product being the solution to the problem that they're encountering. Obviously, there's a few more moving parts amongst the framework, but that's the overall concept.
Yeah. So So if any of you guys own the attraction code inside of our back office, can you see that, Aaron?
Yep.
Okay, so there's a couple of the where I got this is the attraction code. It's a product that we've sold and that we sell. So I've got a couple of different kinds of posts. One is the lifestyle insight post, and it sort of gives you kind of some ideas to hit on, some kind of templates and examples. Where you would add a picture. There's the subtle seduction post. There's the profitable promo post, right? And there's a template and example for each one of these. And then once somebody reaches out to you, kind of a somewhat typical response, at least in campaigns that I've run in the past, when I've said, because Aaron, another thing that you can do with this Facebook thing, this sort of organic strategy, is if you wanted to open a page, if you had a post, okay, if you had a post that really took off on your Facebook profile, okay, and I'm going to give away a super hot campaign right now for those of you who are interested in trying something different and launching a new campaign in your business. On top of this stuff, kind of throwing a little bit of gasoline on this fire, is obviously you can't run ads to your personal profile, but you can run ads to your business page. And so if you have a post that worked really well, meaning that it got tons of engagement, it did really well for you on your personal profile, you can then take that same post and post it on your business fan page and actually run it as an ad. And what I always do whenever I run this kind of campaign is I sort of end the post with, if you want more info, here's what to do next. Comment more info below, which gets the post blowing up with comments, right? And then, send me a private message telling me that you want more information, right? And then once they send that, so now all of a sudden I'm running an ad, not just sending people to a landing page, but I'm actually looking to have quality conversations with people. And my response is going to be something like, hey, awesome to hear from you. Tell me a little bit about your current situation. What's your business? What's your number one goal right now for your life and or your business? And once they respond and tell you what that is, in this case, we were setting appointments for the phone. Be like, okay, nice. I'd like to set up a time to talk with you on the phone. Go please fill out this short application. Be as honest as possible, and we'll get back to you and we'll set up a call. I also have a free gift for you for reaching out. It's blank. We'll give that to you for free when we get on the phone, regardless of whether you enroll in the coaching program. So again, go fill out this app. And we'll do our best to email you back within 24 hours. And of course, you could send them to a calendar to book a spot. You could take them to you could have them go watch a video and message you back once they got done doing it. But one of the cool things that Facebook allows you to do on your page is you can actually set up inside of the sort of messenger. Inside of the messenger, these automatic responses, right? And so when you have somebody who and I'm not sure if this is exactly where you set up the automated responses, or if, hold on, let me go back over here and see. Let me see here. Hold on. I want to try to find this because I want to try to show you guys how to do this. They've just updated the interface a little bit. No, I don't want to ban from page. You can assign the conversations to different people as well. I think it's right here. Insert saved replies. So you can see that we've got these first responses. And that's kind of a copy of the first response that I just showed you. But basically what you can do is you can set up these saved responses. You can add new ones, right? And these are all the different saved responses that we have inside of our fan page, right? So this is like a first response when somebody reaches out for more info. If somebody says, hey, how can I work with you? But then in that particular campaign that I just showed you, we've got all these different kinds. Has no money after first message, pay plan response, right? Reignite camp responses. First reply, missed the appointment. If they say no, if their finances are questionable, send this. Say they want a calendar link, right? Ready to schedule a call. And the cool thing is it'll add in their name. So it's not like you can see this person's name is SK. It inserts their name all into these responses. And you can do that. You can do that by adding personalization to the reply, right? So we've ran campaigns. You could even scroll through my page and see them back in years past, particularly before we launched Legendary, and you'll see responses or campaigns to where we've had thousands of responses, right? And we just have full-time assistants who are managing these responses and sending people to set appointments. But the power of this, again, Aaron, is that is just like it says on this call to action at the bottom of the post, comment more info. The ad begins to have all this social proof of people blowing up the post with more info. And it's just sort of like this herd effect. When you see 1,000 comments below a post that say more info, people feel like they're being left out, like they're going to miss something if they don't comment more info. So anyways, just to recap what I've just gone over, if you have a post that's working really well, that got a great response on your personal profile, which is a great place to test things, you can take that over and run, $5, $10, $20, $100 a day to sort of throw gasoline on the fire and generate even more leads for more conversations or more appointments or just more traffic.
That's really powerful.
Yeah. So, gosh, we were going to talk about TikTok, dude, and we didn't.
Whoops.
So, all right, dude, this has been. Anything that you would add to any of this? And, I just talked there for about 10 minutes straight, but hopefully that was valuable to people. And anything that you would add to sort of wrap up this, and then I'm going to have to somehow manipulate you, twist your arm, something to come back on, and we'll talk about TikTok at another time. But anything that you would say to sort of complete and wrap up this incredibly powerful conversation that we've had today. Most people would charge for a conversation like this, and we've just we're such nice guys. No, this is marketing, guys. Come on, this is a value live, right? This is an example. I mean, we're doing exactly what we're talking about here. Aaron knows that coming on to this show, providing value, he's going to get people who are going to now come into his network. He's not doing it because he wants anything from anybody, but he knows that this is playing the long game. And I know this too, right? That's why we do this every day. But brother, I'm going to give the last word to you because I've talked here for about 10 minutes and over to you. Take us home.
Look, if anybody is trying to get organic marketing going, it's like a matter of a couple of things, like value first, always value first. Expect nothing in return. Don't go into these conversations. Don't put a value post up with the only goal being to make a sale off it. Expect nothing in return. Always lead with value and make a commitment. Because as you said earlier, like with blogging can be great if you can make that commitment to stick with it. And organic marketing is the same. If you are here one day and gone the next, it's not going to work for you. You need to be consistent and you need to make a commitment to see it through until it works. That's as simply as I can put it.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Some of you have asked for this little template that I was just giving away. or I was referencing, I'm actually going to drop that right in the comments. So you'll have to scroll down to find that in the comments, but I just posted in the comments, and you can grab that and you can take a look at some of those example posts and those structures and of how, just to give you more ideas for what to post once you've sort of built up your audience a little bit and you're looking to post there on your profile to sort of add value and so forth. And dude, people are loving this. I want to go back to your Facebook profile and share it one more time so everybody can see, how to spell your last name. Because I don't have Matt on today, so I don't know how to get your name back up there on the screen like we usually have it. But give Aaron a follow. And brother, listen, thanks so much for being willing to come on. I know you're doing a lot, and you've now become busy in your marketing career, and that's a really, really cool thing. I want to congratulate you for all your success, and I'll talk to you real soon, my brother.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you having me on. Thanks.
Yeah, you got it, dude. You got it. All right, my friends. I guess it's Friday. Happy Friday. Feels like Wednesday. I lose track of the days, but it has been great to be with you. Have a great day. Be legendary. And we see you back here on Monday, same place, same time. Be well. Talk soon.